everyone, this is Catherine. Welcome back to my channel. If you've been here for a while and if you're new, welcome for the first time. Honestly, even if you've been here for a while, welcome. It's been quite a while since I've done a video, but we are back. So today I'm going to take you through my start of journal setup, started my new bullet journal for the second half of 2025. I attempted to film an actual plan with me video and it did not work. I had a very difficult time with my setup and then with my camera, and finally had to get a new sort of arm to hold my phone, because my phone seems to be the best way to film these, at least for now. My webcam was not focusing if my hands were not in frame in a very particular way, and that was proving to be very difficult. So yeah, no start of journal setup for this. Hopefully I will get my act together today and film the July plan with me so you can actually see the process of setting that up. But for now, I'm just going to show you what I've done for my start of journal setup for 2025, and we will go from there. I hope the lighting is okay. I am also working on that, kind of playing around with what works best. So if you don't like the lighting, let me know. I can't promise there's a whole lot I can do about it, but I will try. All right, so jumping in, I have this gorgeous notebook, A5 notebook from Archer and Olive. I absolutely fell in love when I saw this one, because I really like colorful notebooks, and I like having the designs on the spine. It's one thing about a lot of the really nice bullet journals that I notice is that a lot of times they have a nice, either subtle or really gorgeous design on the front, and then there's nothing on the spine, which when the bullet journal is not in use and it's just sitting on the shelf because it's already been used and past its time, I like to still be able to see how beautiful it is. So this is nice. I like this. Anyway, I've got the name page. I just put my first name in here, and I will put my contact info in after this video is done, because there's no reason y'all need to know my phone number. There is that. All right. The cover page, right? We've got 2025 part 2, and I have this really beautiful tea-themed sticker tape from the washi tape shop that I decided to use for this setup. I have a few other washies as well that I used in here. I am not going to link those below. I honestly don't remember what these are all called. Some of the tapes that I used are from past Archer and Olive subscription boxes, so you can't just go buy them anyway. Some are Amanda Rach Lee, some are just old that I got when I very first started bullet journaling from Amazon, and I don't remember. That's one thing about me that you guys are going to learn real fast, is that I am terrible at remembering where I got something or what precisely it is. So a lot of the times things are not going to be linked specifically, and instead it just use what you have, use what you like. This is inspiration. It's not a specific tutorial. And that's the way most of my videos will be. If there's something very specific and I know exactly where it came from, I can link it. But in general, don't try and copy exactly. Like, take this as inspiration and do what you want with it. All right. Quote page. I am not great at lettering, and I'm okay with that. It's practice. I enjoy making these, and I know the more I do them, the better I'll get. This is actually better than when I very first started bullet journaling, so there's that. But yeah, I've done this one a lot in a lot of my sort of mid-year bullet journal setups, but I really like it. It just feels like it makes sense. And for this one in particular, for this particular setup, it really made sense because I had a rough time at the start of this year. I started a new job in December. I started teaching a new teaching job, which is fantastic and I love it. And I tried having a separate bullet journal for personal and one specifically for school. And what that taught me is that I cannot keep up with multiple planners. It just doesn't happen. So my personal planning, it just went completely down the drain. It didn't work at all. Which was a shame because I got a nice doodle planner from Amanda Rachley, so I wouldn't have to keep up with quite so many setups and everything, and I thought this is going to be great. I barely touched it. It's used enough that I can't resell it or give it away or something, but it is very, very much not filled in. That was not a helpful plan. So I'm combining everything this year. So hopefully this will work a lot better. I think it will actually. So got my nice decoration down here. If you hear claws tapping around, my dog just came downstairs. He was wondering where I am. On this page, I've got information. So this is specifically school related. I'm going to put my print code here. The guidance counselors, what grades they cover, and any pertinent information like phone numbers, anything like that, and also important phone numbers like the attendance secretary and other such things. So that will be filled in. Once again, there's no reason for you all to need to see that information, so that is not filled in yet, and a lot of that will actually be filled in once I go back to school in August, because it's not information I keep with me. That's why I want a page for it in my bullet journal. Future log, it's a very important spread for me. I use this a ton, and especially now with also having a school schedule, this will be really important for quarter start and end dates, when grades need to be in, when I'm getting paid, that kind of thing. So very, very important for planning, and I love my future log. I was hoping to get a full year in here, or at least to get through, well, I guess it would have ended up being a full year because I would have gotten through June. It didn't quite fit, and I really didn't feel like trying to figure out how to make this work with like a Dutch door or something. So I've just got through April, and really by the time I finish this journal up and we get into the January setup and everything, the whole start of 2026, I'll be in a new journal anyway, so shouldn't be that big of a deal. But yeah, there is that. All right, then I have a finances log. I really didn't use this in my previous bullet journal, but again, I'm not taking that too much to heart because my entire personal planning system just went down the drain entirely, because I was focused so much on school planning and really just didn't have enough to fill in. I couldn't keep up with both. So I got this spread from Erin Smith. I really enjoy the way she has everything broken down and set up, and I'm really looking forward to actually using this time. I probably will not show you this filled in because that is personal information that you do not need to see. However, I am very excited to work through it and see what kind of information I actually get from this. So I would highly encourage you to go check out Erin Smith if you are interested in these kinds of financial logs or spreads. She has, I think her start of journal setup for 2025 actually has very detailed information about how to set this up. Highly, highly recommend that if you are interested. But yeah, I'm really excited to get into this and learn some stuff about me and finances, and maybe hopefully develop, maybe some healthier habits regarding those. Next, we have my health log, or health tracker. I typically use this to track things like when my period is, if I am having trouble sleeping, if I'm noticing any other symptoms that could be pertinent to me. The breathing thing here is mostly so I can track when I actually use my rescue inhaler. I use it very, very, very infrequently, but I like noting when I do feel like I need it. So that way I can see if I'm using it a lot and need to, talk to my doctor about maybe some other treatments or, whatever. Anything to do with my eyes, I am legally blind, as you know if you've been around here for a while. And so having this section here, just any really notable changes in my eyesight, or just anything like, am I getting a lot of those like silent migraines where like your vision goes in and out and that kind of stuff. I like to have that there. Again, I don't use it terribly often. I haven't decided if I'm going to be using letters or colors or quite how I'm doing this key yet, which is why it is not entirely filled in. But I do have some of the basic things I like to track, along with plenty of space to add more if I feel like I need it. But mostly this ends up being a period tracker. I am also trying something new this year. I've been doing using Trainwell for workouts and things, and I love it. It's fabulous. Part of what they do there is they have you track. And so I've been going based off of my waist and hip measurements, but just because of my own personal medical history, it is also good for me to track my weight. So I might not do that every single week, but there is a space here for it so that I can track it if I feel like I need to. And then there's lots of empty space here to be able to add notes regarding any of the symptoms that are tracked over here in case I need those. If I mark that I'm dizzy one day, or, in a lot of pain or something, it could be helpful to note that, like, I mean, again, you would also see it in here based off of the key, but it could be also helpful to note that, like, oh, I was in a lot of pain, 2 days before my period started, or just something like that. Just so, again, just for tracking, just so I have an idea of what's going on with my body. Very helpful. And I've been using this general setup for years, but it kind of has evolved as I've gone along. Next, we have the online classes tracker. I am using this because I have quite a few online, especially like art classes and things that I either have made not a lot of progress on, or have made progress on and then kind of stopped. So I just want this here. I haven't filled it in entirely, but you can see an example. I've been doing the Sarah Burns gouache boxes, and so I have finished 7 of them. I have 5 of them left, and so there's just like a nice little progress bar. And I will be setting up any other online classes that I have. I might also choose to set up, like, I have some watercolor books that I'd like to work through and things like that. I might set those up, based on like the chapters or things. I'm not 100% sure yet. I also have a section here for professional development. As a teacher, I need to do professional development to keep up and be able to renew my teaching license. So I have a section here. I haven't 100% decided exactly how I'm going to fill this in, but I thought it was important to have the space so that I can track those things. So that is there. Some things I took from the Amanda Rachley Doodle Planner that I really liked, how she had certain reflection and goal setting sections set up. So these compartments are lifted basically directly from that. So I have 4 reflections. So this would be obviously then for the first half of 2025, like what were some highlights, something that I learned in the first half of 2025, something I'm proud of, what I want to leave behind, right? Something that I'm okay, saying goodbye to, essentially. And then goals for this next half of the year. Something that I want to accomplish, right? Something I want to learn. My motto or affirmation. And then what I want to bring with me from the first half of 2025. I really enjoyed working through these pages in the Doodle Planner, so I'm really excited to incorporate them into my own bullet journal. I also really enjoyed her things to check out spread. I used to have one of these, and then I stopped using it, so I stopped putting it in, but I really enjoyed it for this year, and I think it's really cool, like, to have something like this, especially working in an in-person school. If students have recommendations for books or TV shows or movies or, talking with colleagues, this just gives me a place to collect those kinds of things so that I don't forget them. And then I have an attendance tracker for my classes. I was doing these in my weekly spreads in my school planner this year, but I am excited to have this in the start of my journal. So students will be listed with their initials. I have the mods or class period. At my school, we have, instead of periods, we have mods, like 20 minutes each. And so each class is typically 2 mods. So I've got that. And then code, which basically, were they here, not here, is it present, excused absence, unexcused absence, excused or unexcused tardy, that kind of thing. And so this just helps me keep track, because in the program that I'm working in, attendance is part of your grade. And so it's very helpful for me to be able to see over the course of the week, how often were they here, not here, that kind of thing. So I have that. I only have 1 page for this because of how many columns I was able to fit on. I'm hoping I won't need to make another one, but I can always make another one later in the journal if I have to. Then I have some quarter overviews. First quarter at a glance. I want to make sure I gave myself plenty of planning space for this. So first and second quarter, that's probably all I'm going to be able to fit in this journal. So that's all I did. Third and fourth quarter will be in the second half of the year. And then I have my sort of daily routine listed here. So I've got my school schedule. I will put in the actual times later. But these are the periods that we have, and then the times, right? So this side is regular time, and then next to it we've got if there's a 1 hour delay. I did not put in 2 hour delay schedule because that was all over the place this past year. We had a lot of 2 hour delays, and they ended up just skipping the first few periods, which honestly is good because the 2 hour delay schedule was ridiculous. It ended up working out to like 10 minutes per class or something. It's like, why even bother going? So they changed that dramatically. So instead of putting that in here, I just left it out, and we'll go based off of whatever they tell us on the announcements that day. And then I have the start of day routine, right? So when I get into school each day, what am I doing? And then end of day routine. And then I've left space here too, because I might want to do start of quarter or end of quarter routines. I'm not 100% sure, but again, leaving space for that. So that is my start of journal setup for the second half of 2025. Hopefully we'll be able to do July together soon. I really hope so, because I'm not sure when this video is coming out, but tomorrow is July as of filming this video. So I really have to get my act together and get that set up. All right. I hope you all are having an awesome day. If you enjoyed this, let me know by leaving a like on this video and possibly even a comment. If there is specific content you're hoping to see from me, let me know that as well. Keep in mind, I specifically named this channel Catherine's Corner because this is my little corner of the internet where I do what I want to do. So I make videos based on what I feel like talking about, doing. I am a bit of a hobby collector, so, there's a lot of stuff that we might do. Also depends on how easily I can or can't film things. So, there's a range. You're not just coming for bullet journal and art stuff, although that's probably going to be a good chunk of what I end up doing here because I enjoy that stuff, and I hope you do too. All right, everyone, have an awesome day. I'm going to close this up, and I will see you next time. Bye.